As long as we can stay on.
We should have one.
Okay, is everybody here? Everybody ready? Everybody got their name in the hat? Yes. Because I have this fabulous prize. Hook point, how to stand out in a 3-second world. Well, you know, Daniel, if you won, you could give it to someone. It's a great gift. It's by Brendan Kane. He's the guy that created, he got 100,000 followers in 1 month. It's all about social media and how to stand out in the 3 seconds that you have people's attention. Okay, let's pull up.
Yeah, close your eyes.
Tony. Woo, all right. Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We're ending this is the last week of March. Okay, so how's everybody doing? This is not only the last week of March, it's the last week of first quarter. And did everybody get my email? Because I was asking, how's everybody going? How's your goals going? You know, we set goals at the end of 2022. And so you should be, look at your projections and look at your numbers where you're at. You should be 1/4 of the way, right? We're right at the end of that. If you're not 1/4 of the way, right? Plug in, come meet with me. I have options. We can talk about it. We can do a KPA. We can look at what really matters to your business and how to solve some problems. Maybe get you back on track. If you are on track, awesome. And maybe there's somebody else that you can reach out and help, right? We're all in this together. Together, everyone wins, right? Okay, so we're doing the Red Shoe Award at the end of the month so we can have it full for April. We're really trying to get on track with that. And let's, yeah, maybe pass those out and we'll just get that done right at the beginning. Tomorrow, okay, so the network is putting on these mastermind series and they're in South Sound and North Sound. And the graphic they gave me is super confusing, but we're trying to figure it out. Tomorrow there's a growth mastermind up in Bellingham. It's from 10 to 11, but don't worry because the growth mastermind will be here on April 12th. So we're going to be doing that here, but there's a top 20%. So if you're in the top 20%, you fit there. Go down to North Seattle. They're doing their growth mastermind or their top 20% mastermind there tomorrow from 10 to 11. And the next top 20% mastermind, I think, will be back up in Bellingham next month. So I'll try to get those into the calendar. Also, career visioning is going to come in the beginning of June. It was supposed to be in April, and I think they just shifted the whole thing over, and now it's going to be June 1st and 2nd. So if you haven't done career visioning or you want to expand your business or grow your team or hire someone, that's a super wonderful opportunity to learn. It's going to be taught with Melanie Kennerman, and she's from Texas. So she's going to be coming up to teach that. And then one last thing. So you guys, this is really cool. So we did open house career night instead of just regular career night last week. And it was super fun. It wasn't me boring up here with slides talking about the Keller Williams opportunity, not that it's boring. But we changed all the tables around and made it open house style. And I hosted it like an open house. And then I had agents from teams here greeting. And so like I could greet the people coming in and then I could hand them off to other agents or team members to have conversations. It was loud, it was busy, there was lots of people here, and we had licensed agents coming in to see if they would fit in our culture, which is just amazing for growth for our market center. So if you want to be involved in career night, if you want to have those conversations with people, if you want to build your profit share tree and step into something bigger for your legacy building part of Keller Williams opportunity, please come to career night. We're going to do it on the 19th of April. We're going to pack the house. I had 5 people available to talk. So like 4 agents, and Katie was helping me last week. And we were able to deal with about 10 people, and I still had kind of people waiting around, milling around. So if I could just get a few more agents to come on the 19th, maybe we could get 20 people and really recruit to it and bring people in and see if we can help them with their businesses. Because right now we're seeing that, you know, the law of equilibrium start to happen in the marketplace for real estate agents.
Alexa, stop.
We really love that are our friends that we close deals with that really need to see our opportunity and see if it's available for them, you know, to help them grow their business, help them join our teams, and help them grow the market. Got it? Help me, help me, help me. Yes, get it up, get it up. Okay. Anyway, so I want to share with you guys a couple more things. Last week, we had a bunch of agents missing, if you didn't notice, and Built How happened, and that was down in California. Where was it? Palm Springs. It's an amazing
Palm Springs is really nice area.
It's an amazing event.
Excuse me, it was raining the first 2 days.
And for the next couple real estate sales rallies that we're going to have, I'm going to start the sales rally with a couple agents that went to Built House, and so that they can talk about their takeaways, like their favorite thing, their takeaways. And so this week, I wanted to start with a 5-star team. I asked Julie to, and Julie just called me and said she's sick, but she said you guys would love to at least share one takeaway or 2 takeaways that you got from Built House that you could share with us.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
You want me to?
yes,
Okay.
lead it
I
off.
have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, so I don't know how long you want me to go on for. I have a whole plethora of stuff.
Maybe just a couple things.
There was just a couple things that really stood out. Yeah, definitely. So Jamie Leo was there, and she was amazing. I mean, she was inspirational and life-changing. She was so amazing. That's all I have to say about her. You know, authenticity guarantees success. If you're going to be inauthentic, you're going to be guaranteeing failure. You know, in your life and your real estate career, if you're going to be authentic, you're going to guarantee yourself success and whatnot. You know, she talked about cheering for yourself when no one else is. I feel like a lot of us feel like that we're alone in this a lot of the time, but we're not. You know, we're all cheering ourselves on and all cheering each other on. But when you do ever feel down and whatnot, it's about cheering yourself on when nobody else can, right? You know, paying attention who you're looking at and following on social media. I think that reigns a big one. You know, a lot of times we surround ourselves with people that we need to love and be around, but really it's about who we also follow and look at on social media, because whoever we're looking at, always that definitely influences us to be who we can be, and we want to be the best person that we can be. So it's best to follow who's, you know, good on social media. We did learn a lot about social media and like the real hook, kind of what you were talking about with that book and everything. The real is your hook rather than, and then the post is your data. So whatever you're gonna, you know, hook people with the real with, and your data goes into the actual post that you're posting on social media. So they did talk about that. And you know, just reeling your confidence in. There's a lot of discouragement in the world right now, and understanding that, you know, clearing up that confidence and getting your conscience back. Clarity, confidence, consistency equals, you know, confidence, you know, realizing what that is and how to become that instead of getting this discouragement down in our lives and getting this doubt and getting this self, you know, having that, you know, overwhelm you really, when you should be clarity, confidence, and, you know, consistency, and that will guarantee your confidence in your life and your success, not just in real estate, but just in your life in general. So I think that's a little, I think that was a little bit on what we learned, just a few key points. What do you have to say?
Awesome.
I wanted to share my notes on good quitting versus bad quitting. And I can't remember who talked about that. It was another founder of Place. Alex, maybe Chris, a 4-letter.
Chris Suarez.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So basically he said sometimes quitting is good for taking a stand, which yes, but all in all, he wanted to push the idea that don't quit on yourself because it's hard. And right now is very hard. So get in a habit of perseverance, he says. Understand what emotionally makes you feel like quitting. So I did want to share these, why we quit. One is results. So you're getting a lack of results from the same actions. So do something different. Do what everyone else is doing in a different way and master yourself and move on. Overwhelmed is number 2. Stop saying you're exhausted. You're not exhausted. They spend a lot of time talking about how we're actually discouraged with the situation at hand. But just get out of the mind that you're exhausted because you're just discouraged at that one moment in time and what's happening. 3, loneliness. You know, getting lonely. I don't remember what else to piggyback off that, but lonely. 4, negative influence. So kind of piggybacking on what Mary was saying, who are you letting into your life? Are they the wind in your sails, or are they the anchors holding you back? And then what Ben Kinney said, I love it. Don't let people poop in your kitchen. Kitchen is sacred. I've never heard that before. So, except he said shit. But that's okay. And then 5, internal issues. So of course, you know, if you're struggling in your career, you're going to think about that one time 10 years ago that you had this one struggle, and you just got to work through it. Ask for help. And then 6, boredom. I wrote this thing. Yeah, you just get bored. So do the activities, eliminate distractions, and get out of the habit of quitting.
Woo!
Yeah. Woo!
Thank you.
I love that. Yes. Oh, I will. I'm trying to do it a little bit at every sales meeting. Okay. Yes. Yes. You're gonna have a spotlight yourself. Oh, Kim, don't forget what you're gonna share though. Don't forget. Oh, I wrote it down. Thanks. I like the don't poop in your kitchen. You're letting into your kitchen, right?
Yes.
That's such a good one. Okay, so next up, I have Kara. Kara's come to join us. Kara Peebles from Fidelity.
Nate's gonna help with Plan C.
Oh, yay!
I know.
Yeah, you know, yeah, Kara. We're always real pivoty when it comes to tech. So Kara's going to join us to share with us a little bit about love your sphere. Love your sphere all year, right? So we know that we need 4 different opportunities for lead generation in our business to create a strong business and a really stable stool. And so this is just one of the opportunities, and Kara's going to share with us about how to do it. Thank you, Kara. I guess I could keep talking for a second while they're doing this.
I want if you hear it from
Oh
me,
yeah, absolutely. So one thing I love about Kara Peebles is she always shows up for us in so many different ways and opportunities, not just title and escrow, but she puts on a mastermind every month right over here at the little coffee shop. What's it called? The Creamery. And it's awesome. She always brings in great speakers. It's great content. It's nuggets you can take away. And so it's usually, what day is it usually?
It's kind of all over the place because we try to
10 o'clock on Fridays.
Right now it's 10 o'clock on Fridays once a month, but then the Creamery isn't super excited about it being on Fridays because that's their busy day. So it does rotate. So I would just want to keep you in the loop.
Yeah. So if you want to join that group, which is really fun, broker agnostic, you can go, brokers from all over our area join that group. If you want to join and show up, get Kara and she'll put you on her text line and she'll just text you before. So it's wonderful.
The next one is April 14th here at the Creamery at 10 o'clock. Well, I want you to be there at 9:30 because the coffee line gets backed up. So we have a very special speaker that Armand and Randy, the script scout.
Oh, is it her?
Yes.
Oh, I'm there. Everybody should go to that
Put
one.
my camping chair out there.
Trust me. We should all go to that one. Oh my God. I really want to get her to come.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just want to add, for those of you that haven't gone to Kara's Mastermind, I've been going for a long time now, and I don't make all of them, but when I do, there's always something tangible to take away, whether it's information or, you know, Kara comes prepared. It's not just a social hour to waste your time. You always get value, and there's usually call to action. She'll also give you homework, and she has great speakers. And Randy, I think, has been hands down like the best. you'll get so much out of that.
Yeah.
But what I really love about it too is, once again, there's realtors from all over the area, so you get to hear from Windermere, John L. Scott, all the things. So it's kind of nice to sometimes hear how they do it a little bit different than KW.
Outside of our echo chamber, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So what I just try to do is bring a group of agents together. Sometimes there's 5 and sometimes there's 25. So this year's been gangbusters. So it's been really fun to have the energy in the room. But every time I try to bring something of value that you can learn and go away that will help in your business. So this is just a sample. So when Daniel and Molly said, hey, can you speak on Love Your Sphere all year? So this is just one of the things, because I want to help you grow, because of course, hopefully that helps me grow, right? So, and then we do open the room for people to ask questions with each other. It's a really dynamic group, and it's fun to see the energy and synergy of people saying, oh, I have a challenge, or I have a win, or you get to know each other too. So you've probably had somebody on a transaction, you're like, oh, now I know you because we've met. So we got away from that. We used to do that years ago, right? Everything was presented in person, and we don't really do that anymore. So anyways, what is the #1 source of your business? Mostly, would you say?
Sphere.
Sphere. And you're working in your sphere is a little bit easier than a farm, right? You always hear we should be farming, but farming is tough. It takes consistency. It takes a commitment to farm an area of strangers. When you have a group of people that already know and love you, work with them. So that's why we're gonna talk about loving your sphere all year. So do you want to hit the light? Yeah, might be. So building your sphere, I bet everybody in here has done that. Have it in some sort of CRM.
Yep.
So we're gonna kind of like, you can see through the, but who to add to that sphere. So don't forget people as you go through social media, go through your phone, write down everybody. Don't try to just determine like, oh, would they buy or sell me? Just make a list, get them all on there. You can decide on that later. Everybody? Let's do that. Okay. So thinking about potential contacts. Again, I'll send this to Molly. Hopefully I can get it to you somehow. And you can share. Just know that you got it from Molly. It's in red, you got it from her, you didn't get it from me. So potential contacts. So you can go through, and maybe there's people on here that you haven't thought of that you can add to your sphere, right? You want to get that to be a hefty list. Something I think is really important is building a profile. Maybe we just have their names in your CRM or in your phone or wherever you host it, command, whatever. But do you know a lot about these people? The more you find out about them, the more you can connect, the more reasons that you have to engage with them. So if you know their favorite things, of course, their name, their birthday, what's going on in their life, maybe you see the college they went to is playing a game, right? It's a reason to reach out on a Saturday and say, hey, I see you're a Cougar graduate, go Cougs, or whatever it is, right? The more opportunities that you have to connect with your sphere, the more they're gonna think of you. So just some things to think about if you wanna build profiles around everybody in your sphere. And hobbies, relationships, what they do for a living. I mean, it can just go on and on. Okay, I want everybody to get out their phone. We're gonna do a little math. Or you can just use a number as an example. So either write it down or enter the number of the amount of income that you want to make this year. So in this example, it's 250. And then write down, what is your average commission? So most people, 66% of their business comes from their sphere, right? So in this example, you can see 250, 7,500. They would need to do 33 transactions to achieve their goal. So take that number, divide it by your average commission, see what that number is for you. And then you're gonna take that and you're gonna divide it by 66%. That's gonna tell you how many transactions need to come from your sphere. So in this situation, 22 transactions are coming from their sphere. And if every 12 people in your sphere provide you with one transaction, you'll need 264 people in your sphere to meet your goal. So again, you can do the math on your own and decide what that looks like for you, but it shows how important it is to stay connected with your sphere who is giving you the most referrals. Any questions about that? Good, got your number? Okay. So what can you do daily? So not everybody loves door knocking, not everybody loves phone calling, right? We hear all these things, but some people just don't love it. So find what you're good at and be the best at it. Or divide those tasks into smaller bites. If I think to myself, okay, today's Tuesday, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna make 25 phone calls. For me, I will do 100 things before I make those 25 phone calls. But if I think of, okay, I only have to do 5 today, much easier. So I like to break my database down into daily activities that are smaller and quicker. So that can be anything for you, but in this example, it could be notes, sending a message on social media, emails, texts, calls. So taking that down and breaking it, just do 5 calls a day, 5 emails a day, 5 texts a day, whatever that looks like for you. And you can usually bang that out within 45 minutes to an hour. Now, if you love an hour, 2 hours phone calling, great, don't change. But for the ones that are like, not my favorite to do some of these activities, break it down, because if you do 5 calls a day for the next 300 days, you've done a lot of phone calls. And this is to your sphere. So these are easier phone calls to make. So again, I'll share this with you, but planning in advance can really help, because we go like this in real estate. We're busy, we're not busy, we're busy, we're not busy. Oh, I should send a postcard. Oh, I should pop by and bring them Valentine's Day. Now Valentine's Day is over. So thinking ahead of what you can do. So putting in your calendar different activities you can do throughout the year. So here's just some examples of what you can send throughout the year. We're here in April. You could do a coloring contest. You could have an Easter egg hunt here at the office, meet at a park, whatever it is. But the more you can plan ahead, obviously, the better. Any automated stuff that you can do to keep in front of your sphere. I know most of you have heard of HomeBot. It's a great way to stay in your database's email every month for like $22. You can't beat it. It's automatic, something you don't have to think about. Client Giant, you guys know about, a great way to send gifts without having to do anything. And building a referral program, which I'm helping some agents do. So if anybody wants to help building a referral program, which means having a system in place, so when a referral comes in, what does that mean going forward? So I am helping with that. So we can, I'm almost doing like a one-on-one, just because it's more detailed. So if anybody's interested, let me know. And host events. How many people host events for their clients? Yeah. Do you do it once, twice a year?
Once a year.
Once a year? What time of the year?
We do a fall event.
Nice. You guys did your holiday event, which was great. Wreath making and all kinds of fun stuff. Fun. And connecting with your sphere. I'm just going to give you a ton of reasons to reach out, because sometimes we don't know what to say, what to call them about. When all else fails, give them something of value. Makes it a lot easier to call somebody when you're giving them something of value, whether it's something going on in the market, whether it's a new coffee shop that you are partnering with and you want to give them a $10 coffee card, whatever it is. It makes it a lot easier to connect when you have something of value. And reasons to call them. And be the local expert. So whether that's through email, through texting, through Facebook group pages, be the expert, because no matter what's going on, you want them to call you. You want them to call you and ask, do you know a roofer? Do you know a house? Maybe you don't, but you want to be the first phone call. So the more value that you can bring, the more they're going to think of you as that local expert, whether you can help them or not. It's great when somebody calls and you, well, I don't know off the top of my head, I can help you. At least they called you first because they thought you're in real estate, you do all things real estate. So I'm going to call and ask if you know somebody or have the answers. So that's it. I kind of just did it super quick, but any questions, any comments? Again, I'll send this so you can have all the ideas in there. So anyways, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much, Kara. We were having a technical difficulty with emails this morning for some reason.
Yeah. Thanks.
The PDF wasn't going through. So I will get that and then link it and I'll put it on the Facebook group. And if anybody's not on the Facebook and wants that PDF, I'll email it to you. So just let me know. Okay, well then I am going to pass it off to Anton. Anton's joined us to help us talk about some numbers and market. Actually, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. What does anyone want to talk about?
Market and numbers.
Yeah.
I know.
We want you to have a break up here.
If there's a tinfoil hat over there, I'm willing to hear anything else you got.
Okay, we'll start with the tinfoil hat. Did anyone else find any guns this week?
Okay.
Oh, I'm not even joking. So they're going to take every gun from you. So go buy some.
So what passed?
The most restrictive gun bill in the United States. It outlaws 5 pages of guns.
In Washington.
In Washington. It's through the Senate. It's going to make it through the House here in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, crazy. So if you want to own a gun, go buy it before they take it away from you. And that's my tinfoil hat for the day.
Okay, is this market weird?
Yes.
Okay. So are parts like super on fire and parts are just dead?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Why?
Price.
Demand.
Price, demand, what else?
Demographic.
Ooh,
Tech
yeah.
buyer.
Tech buyer?
Type of buyer.
Type of buyer. Type of buyer, yep. Okay, what else? Why?
Money costs more.
Yeah, that's actually, this is the biggest factor. So, I mean, interest rates were, I mean, we had 3% mortgages everywhere. What was the mortgage yesterday? Anyone?
6.75.
6.75, 7, 6.5. Once again, all this is dependent on income and credit, right?
Yep.
Income, credit, down payment, blah, blah. But that number's not a 4.
Hell, I'd settle for a 5.5 right
Yeah, that sounds good. This is the biggest thing that's affecting us is just the cost of money. And so you have this market is basically breaking into the tail of multiple markets. So you've got the median or the middle, and then right above the median to about, let's call it 30% above the median. This is still good.
The median of what?
The market, the price. Okay, so in Marysville, the median price here is about 650. So 30% above 650, let's just call it 200 grand. So up to about 850, it's really good. Okay, you hit 850 and then the market changes. There's a builder in Bothell that just did $200,000 price reductions.
Jeez.
Okay, I mean, they went from, no, excuse me, this was in Sammamish. They went from 2.4 to 2.2. So it came down 200 grand.
But yet, have you seen
Still a lot of money.
But have you seen other builders here locally are raising their prices now?
Yes.
Anything that's been sitting, all of a sudden you went, wait, what? They just went up. What happened?
Because the thing to understand also about new construction, so new construction is generally, this is the old school builder mentality. I'm going to start at X, and X is slightly below the market. And I get this first one sold and I get a lot of activity and I build momentum. And then every home starts to go up $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. And they build this pricing model that comes up through the wholesale of the plat, with the last one being the most expensive. Builders have been doing that since the dawn of time, and that's totally 100% going to continue. New construction across the United States generally makes up about 11% of the market. Right now, it's making up as much as like 24. Why?
Because there's less in the market.
Because there's less in the market because of this. So who here has made an offer on a $500,000–$600,000 home and there's been like 25 offers on it, or at least 4 or 5? Okay, so this below the median, this is a real technical term. It's hot. This is a technical term. It's hot. It's really hot. It's on fire. It's kind of stupid again. This to right above the median is good, and then as you start to enter some of these luxury ranges, things start to slow down dramatically. The problem is this middle, they don't want to sell. They say no sell.
Why? I have a 2.5% interest rate.
Yep.
So generally speaking, we could take a traditional move up seller and their payment would move $400, $800 for them to move up the property ladder. Today, their payment moves $1,200 to $1,800 for them to move up the property ladder, and mentally they can't do that. And here's what they say. Anton, gas costs more money, milk costs more money, you know.
Money costs more money.
Money costs more money. And so I can't afford to do this today. Has anyone heard that? On a listing appointment? Okay, I can't afford to move to the next level. So this is one of the things, this is your opportunity right here, this middle that doesn't want to move. This bottom that's hot is always an opportunity for some home buyers are probably going to make up a larger percentage of the market than they did before. Another opportunity, and so this one gets a smiley face from me. Once again, these are technical terms. Okay, is our investor market.
Is that a mustache?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. It's like a bit, this is a big toothy grin.
Oh.
Okay. What's happening in the investor market and why is it an opportunity?
There's blood in the water.
Yes. And it's just a start. It's like a slow trickle right now. But the sharks and the piranhas, we are swimming around. Because sharks, they do shark shit. They swim around.
Well, interest rates have caused home prices to come down.
Yeah.
And then therefore there's still deals to be had on
Yes.
the market.
And we just keep swimming. And we're waiting for just a good deal that we can just step up and bite. So in the last 2 weeks, I've been offered 3 multifamilies with owner financing. I have not been offered a multifamily with owner financing in 6 years without me asking. Just for clarity. There are starting to be some land deals. P.S. Land is the worst part of this whole market. Land hasn't budged an inch and land needs to come down because the cost of construction is too high, labor is too high. Land is a hard thing to deal with right now. Let's go. So I made a vertical video about this yesterday. The dudes on the All In podcast did a great job. That's one of the podcasts I like to listen to. It's a bunch of billionaires who sit around and talk about things. I think it's very interesting. One of the guys on there talked about the commercial real estate market has $20 trillion worth of debt attached to it. In 2023, there's $300 billion coming due. Commercial debt, if mortgages were 3, commercial debt was probably 3.5, maybe 4. And commercial debt right now is in the 6.5 to 8.5 range.
And most commercial debt's held by small banks.
And most commercial debt is held by small banks. Small banks make up 40% of all banking, in case you didn't know. It's not all B of A. Okay, I want to give you a quick, simple math lesson. Net operating income, NOI. So this is a cap rate. cap rate, whoops, I don't know why I wrote that so high, equals, am I doing this wrong? Net operating income divided by value. Might be the other way around, doesn't really matter.
It's just,
Yeah, well, we got calculators and things like that.
I got one right here.
You got one?
Yeah.
Take 150,000 divided by 0.05. So, so your net operating income equals 150K. Okay, and your cap rate, this example is 5%, which creates a value of,
Divided by
yep, divided by 0.05.
3 million.
3 million bucks, perfect. Okay. So today, if I have this building, whatever it may be, and it's making $150,000 a year and it has a 5% cap rate, it's worth 3 million bucks. Problem is this just was a 4% cap rate. So take 150,000 divided by 0.04.
3.75
3.75
million.
So by interest rates going up, cap rates have started to have to rise. This building just lost $750,000 in value. This is exactly how this works. Commercial real estate is in a very, very, very bad pinch right now. It's going to get pinched really hard because cap rates are starting to have to rise to compensate for high interest rates.
And is that because commercial property, all that is sold directly based on how much it
Yes, correct.
prices?
That's exactly it. Commercial property operates off of how much money it makes, not what it costs to build it. It doesn't comp out like, oh, this building's worth this, so this building. It's all about how much money they make. Is there downward pressure on rents right now? Yes. However, I do believe rents locally have already stabilized, so that's a slightly different story. However, is there still downward pressure on office rents?
sure.
Yes. Is there large vacancies in downtown Seattle? Yes. Is there massive vacancies in San Francisco? Oh, yeah. Bay Area is going to go through a huge problem. This is opportunity for investors. Deals are going to break, and then you can step in and buy other people's broken problems because they have to raise. So go 0.75 times this number. So 3 million times 0.75. So I'm going to show you the LTV.
2.25.
2.25.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then 3,750,000 times 0.75. LTV equals loan to value, generally speaking. What is it?
2,812,500.
2,812,000.
500.
Yeah, close enough.
Oh, 500.
So if I put my debt together on this building and I bought this building for 3.7 and my debt on it is for 2.8, and all of a sudden it now has to perform at a 5% cap rate because I have to refinance it in 23 or 24, I have a 605 and some change delta here between my loan to value. Someone's got to dig into their pocket and find that money, or they have to sell the asset.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen, and remember, this is huge. This could be a 1,000-unit apartment complex to a 5-unit apartment complex. This could be a little gas station on the corner. P.S. This isn't going to happen to gas stations. Those things are gold mines. It could be a little strip mall to a giant strip mall. The numbers are the same. They just add zeros. That's all that changes here. Yes, sir.
Is this because they're on short notes?
Yes, sir.
And so then the balloon is coming.
Yes, sir. So commercial debt is 15, 20, 25, and 30-year debt. Generally speaking, yes, there's 40, yes, there's 5, yes, there's 10. I'd say the majority is in this bracket though. Okay. And then what they say is it's due in 5 years or 7 years or 10 years, with the majority being due in 5 or 7. So if somebody bought a building 5 years ago, yes, it's probably appreciated. Yes, they probably paid down some principal, but they're still gonna owe 400 if they have to refinance this. This is gonna create very large opportunities over the next 24 months until debt gets cheaper, because these projects will have to be sold, capital will have to be raised, debt will have to be restructured. On the investor side, if you can find any land development project in our area that can make sense today, you will kill it. Because the developers stopped again for about 6 months, and now they're timidly sticking their toes back in the water and getting started again. There is very little first-time home buyer stuff coming. If you have the opportunity to flip a home at the lower end, build a home at the lower end, I would absolutely do that in today's market. There's not that much risk associated with it. So we're building some funky little 2-stories in Gold Bar because it was the only thing that we could get to fit on these lots. And so we had to build like one is, it's kind of skinny, and then it cantilevers out both sides. So there's no garage. So it's like, you know, it's kind of shaped like a bowling pin. Like, you know, she's curvy, the house, right? But there's no garage. But the reality is that's still probably going to sell for 450 grand because there's nothing in this bottom, so it catches the bottom of it. As uncool as this sounds, manufactured homes, low-level flips, starter homes, if you can do that right now, you can make a killing because no one's going to bring it to the market. Is there any builder bringing any affordable product in Marysville to the market? No. Anyone in Granite? Anyone in Arlington? Anyone in Lake Stevens? Okay. Do you guys see my point of what I'm making here? So there's this opportunity at this kind of like median and below. And I'm going to be really blunt. I am not going to flip anything over 7 digits right now. You couldn't pay me to do it. I would have to steal that property in order to feel safe and secure to do that. But I am probably more conservative than most of you. So that's the other thing to just realize. Like, I talk big game, pretend big game. I guarantee I'm more conservative than all of you. The reason I don't look conservative to most of you is I'm executing a playbook that I've executed over and over and over again. If I could get something for $1.5 million, if it's worth $1.5 million, and when I'm trying to give you an exact number, and I could pay 500 grand for it to flip it, cool. I'm not afraid of that. Okay, I'm dead serious. Even if I got to put 400 grand into it. But if I'm at 1.1 and I've still got to pay, you know, 500, I don't, just avoid it. Go find a better deal. So the reason I bring up the investor thing is, do investors operate just like regular home buyers? No, they don't. But I will tell you, investors get more scared faster than your traditional home buyer does. So most of your smaller investors right now are stopping. This is opportunity for everyone in the room. When they stop, there's more deals, there's more opportunity. The reason they stop is they don't have a clear understanding of what's happening in the market. And I believe you guys mentioned the fear and how you know we respond to that. This is, investors do the same thing. They see the stock market moving, they see what's happening, and I'm talking smaller investors right now. So what they do is they stop doing everything. When they stop, it's a lot of opportunity. Simply go find a deal. There's a deal somewhere out there. There's someone who needs to move today because of some sort of a circumstance. Also, we are not dealing with the easy buyers and sellers right now. Let's be blunt and lay this on the table. We are dealing with the have to sells and the have to buys. Okay. And I'm just going to wing it on a wing and a prayer, and I hope I can make it buyer. That buyer is in the market today. So are those transactions harder or easier?
Oh, much tougher.
Much tougher. So what I want you to do is I want you to bite into that buyer or that seller and this is nothing against pit bulls, but it's the best thing I could think of, like a pit bull, just lock on, and you just hold on to them, okay? Because they need more help, they need more support, and you need to hold on to them, and you've got to push harder today. So in 2022 or 2021 or 2020, rate your level of pushing in those years. And I'm gonna make it up on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's say you were a 4. And maybe that was a lot. In today's market, I need you to be somewhere between a 10 to a 12.
All the effort you were putting into pushing the listing agent, you now need to go into pushing your buyer.
Or your seller.
Yeah, or seller.
You have to double and triple your effectiveness, your scripts, your dialogues, like you guys were mentioning, your consistency, your communication, and your demonstration that you care. Because if they feel beat up and discouraged, do you have to demonstrate you care more, yes or yes? Yes. And you actually have to care. So if you're not going to care, like, this isn't going to work.
I think what we're seeing more too is more hand holding.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Just
yes.
really hand holding, because there's so much fear with buyers and sellers.
Yes. And it's because that stress and that uncertainty is much higher. Let's be blunt about this recession though. Is this a normal recession that affects the blue collar person at the bottom or in the middle and at the bottom? Or is this a white collar recession that's going to destroy a whole bunch at the top? This is a white collar recession. That's what's crazy. We're not worried about the subprime market like we were in 2008. I'm more concerned about giant, the Everett Mall, and I'm making this up, I don't know when their debt's coming due, but like the Everett Mall going under, or like 1,000-unit apartment complexes, or big things like that. That's what's weird about this recession is parts of the market are being affected much more disproportionately. Also, what's hurting this top of the market, and just something to be kind of aware of, has anyone seen tech layoffs?
Yes.
Are those high-paying jobs?
Yes.
That affects this top end of this market. Those are the people that buy those houses. So if I was to say, what would I be doing in the next 90 days? I would plug very tightly into my sphere of influence. I would find the buyers and sellers that I have sitting in front of me, and I would connect with them on an epic level. 2 to 3x your connection, your communication, your care, your candor that you were doing in the previous years. This is a market, and for those of us that were here in the last recession, there were times where you just picked the seller up and you carried them to the finish line. Don't worry, here we go, let's go together, okay? The same thing. Has anyone inked a deal in the last month, and all of a sudden, right after they ink it, and their seller that was selling the house or the buyer that's buying it all of a sudden is falling apart because nothing's ever going to work? True?
Yeah.
The much higher stress. So we have to pull them through. Commercial's your opportunity. Small investment is your opportunity because the small investor is stopping and the big commercial is running into problems. The Federal Reserve raised rates and then interest rates went down. Why? This is kind of an interesting thing, and I'll be done with this.
I just want to know this.
Yeah, this is actually.
I was confused.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. What rate does the Federal Reserve set?
Is it the rate where banks lend money to the banks?
Correct, sir. It's called the overnight rate. So on Bank of America, I need some liquidity. I can go to the Federal Reserve, grab a couple billion. Hey, we're just homies. They give me a couple billion for a little period of time, and it's called the overnight rate for a reason. It's only supposed to be used for liquidity for a short period of time. The biggest thing that affects interest rates are what? Inflation, amen. Inflation and inflation fears. Because long-term interest rates are more correlated to the 10-year treasury and inflation. So as they feel inflation is coming down, that's why interest rates started coming down. So interest rates went up, we hit like that 7, right? The market stopped, least it stopped for me. And then as inflation fears started to get calmed down, these numbers started to float down. So the stock market did not like the Federal Reserve raising rates. So the Federal Reserve raised rates, bonds moved in a different direction, and that's what caused rates to go down. So we may be in a very interesting situation where towards the latter part of this year, this is an educated guess, where the Fed may still be tightening or possibly raising rates, and our actual 30-year debt that we survive on could be trending down. So right now, the bond market has bet that 30-year debt is in the upper 5s to low 6s by the end of the year, even though the Federal Reserve is saying we're not changing anything. Generally, the market is more correct than what the government is, generally speaking, okay? So I think interest rates will probably slowly continue to float down for the rest of the year. Do not expect, because one of you said like we're never going to see a 4. Don't expect to see a 4. And if it gets into the 5s, it's going to be like the top end of the 5s, like 5.9. Okay, it's not going to 5. So when the buyer says, I want to wait for things to get better, this number is not going to get better.
Well, we got to ask them, what does better look like to you?
100%. Amen. And the depreciation we saw at the latter part of fourth quarter has already been erased. So the market's already started appreciating again. And I know all of you felt it because all of a sudden there were just bidding wars again. You're like, how did that happen? I looked at Redfin's data center yesterday. You can look on their little website and just type in Redfin data center. Redfin will pull for all major metros the data right out of their MLS. And they actually publish it faster than our MLS. And because I'm a super numbers nerd, I like to go look at those things. Transaction volume is down how much versus 2022 right now? 40%, 40.4. That was from 319. That was as far as the data went when I looked yesterday.
But is that number getting better or worse? Because I thought
it's trending in a downward direction currently. Sad face. Here's what that means. If there are 40% less transactions, are there 40% less realtors? No.
No, not
cool.
right now. Law of equilibrium's coming.
Somebody's hungry, and I want you to be the hungry ones. And we're going to stick to them 2 times more than normal because we're hungry, and let's grab our unfair share. Okay. Todd Dutzman, and I may be slightly incorrect in regards to this, but as far as I can tell, Todd is outperforming in 2023 what he did in 2022, and I believe he's the only one in the office doing that right now.
He has 11 in escrow right now.
Why do you believe that's happening?
Todd has been hammering the phones like crazy. Anything else to add to?
He calls 5 to 6 days a week for 2 to 3 hours a day is all it is. Well, Haley got after him. Haley got after him for something because he has a real estate project and needed funds. So bless Haley for doing that. She chased him around with a stick, and Todd responded and said, I'm going to go make it happen. The reason I bring up Todd specifically is 1, I love him, and 2, I want to demonstrate that this is possible for you to outperform last year. Okay, but it requires this increase in activities. Okay, if we were a 4 last year, today I'm a 10 or a 12. Any other questions, thoughts, ideas?
One question on like affordability, since above median is not competitive and being pushed downward, and then the bottom is being pushed upward. Where is your educated guess on potentially, when that domino at the top maybe pushes the median down, or who wins that battle? Because there's more inventory obviously up, and that struggles. So that's going to come down, and when a $800,000 house comes down, it has to compete with a 7. Like, everyone's gonna buy the bigger house, it's better.
There are more homes that are at or below the median though than there are in these brackets above, just from a sheer statistics perspective. So this bottom portion is going to buoy up, and then what's going to happen is that's forcing the market up. So you can go in and you can look at the percent of original list price statistic, and the March numbers, of course, will come out next week. So we'll be able to look at all of March's numbers. But the percent of original list price, that gap for the whole market already started closing. And so percent of original list price means this: if it's 98%, it's like 98.4 is the long-term historical average for Snohomish County. Yes, I put this into Excel. I ran the number because I wanted to see what it was.
Does the office, when they send out stats, are we still doing the calculations?
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Do you still have that spreadsheet?
I don't have that spreadsheet, and neither does Roy.
Yeah.
So I've been hand calculating most of these.
Yeah.
Anyway, the 98.4 is the long-term historical average of the percent of original list price. Let me explain what that means. It means if you put it on the market, it sold for 98,400. In the end of fourth quarter and in January and February, we were much lower. Like it was down to 94. And that number has started coming back up. In other words, that gap is closing. And in some parts, and when I crack it into price ranges or I crack it into specific cities, that gap is already closed, which means this whole thing gets buoyed up. No matter how much the top collapses, there's so much at the bottom. So this is 2/3 of the market. This is 1/3. And there's so many more homes that are in the lower price ranges and affordable than there are luxury and above. This top can collapse a lot with this one scooting it up, and it just evens itself out.
And not to mention, like how you were saying, the blue collar, so to speak, people, especially in our area, are still all on the sidelines ready to buy. And like anytime those houses like touch that price, like it's like 5 offers, you know, like instantly, like right on it, and it's gobbled up right away.
And that's a good point. So one thing to be thinking about for our sellers, if we're sitting there with no activity, you may be 1 to 3%, that small of a number, away from a multiple offer situation. Because inventory is so low, so technically we're at weeks of inventory right now. If you don't have an offer within the first 10 days, you are overpriced, period, end of discussion. Okay, there's no way around it. It also means just reduce the price 1%, 82, whatever it is, but you'll kick it down and then hit that 5 offer situation the second you cross that threshold.
And in some cases, run it right back up.
And in some cases, run it right back up.
Because you'll see that, like, I mean, I've seen that, I've got some buyers in that price point, especially like in places like Crown Ridge in Arlington or wherever, like those houses, you know, so to speak, starter houses, touch that affordability. They're like 510, 515, and there's like 15 showings on it right away. It's like, oh, there's still a lot of buyers out there in this market. It's just all of the home prices are just sitting just above the surface of where everyone can afford, basically.
100%. That's also what creates the opportunity. So here my investor thing again, I'm going to say it again. This can make you a bunch of money. If you have anything on the investor side that you can bring to market that is an affordable product, you will kill it. Manufactured homes, affordable flips, ADUs. There's going to be a lot of ADUs probably built, especially if this middle housing bill passes. There were 50 bills that hit Washington state in regards to housing, the most ever. So the legislature is paying attention. Okay, what's the quickest way to fix affordable housing?
Incentivize builders to build affordable.
Yeah, pay builders to build.
The quickest way to do it is deregulation.
Yes. Zoning, fix zoning.
Fix zoning, fix permitting, fix the cost of those things. Understand in June, today we're at 6 energy credits. In June, we go to 9 energy credits on a property. It means you will never have a home built with natural gas ever again. So they're taking that away from you. You didn't catch my tinfoil hat stuff this week. My tinfoil hat stuff is, what are they taking from us? So they're in addition to guns, they're taking natural gas. And 9 energy credits that jump between 6 to 9. That happens in June. The average price of a home, new construction built in our area, will go up 25 grand.
Because of this jump from 7 to 9.
6 to 9.
Oh, 6 to 9. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and energy.
I was working with.
Hold on, I want to give you one more thing, and then I'll answer that. Energy credits are based on the thermal efficiency of the windows, the insulation in the walls, electrical, lighting, HVAC. Okay, what's the quickest way that they're going to do this? Windows and HVAC and insulation. HVAC's already pretty stinking efficient. You can hear this when you walk into a new home and you shut the door and it goes kind of like thump like a Mercedes. That's because the whole house is so airtight. Some of the new homes are so airtight, they now have to have recirculating things that pump air into each room just to make sure you don't pass out.
Like the whole house fans we're seeing more and more.
Whole house fans have always been there, but I'm talking
the vents above the rooms are coming back.
I'm talking ERV system. So air recirculation systems where you put in this whole other system that has this one little pipe that goes into each room that sends out this little puffs of oxygen.
Keeping the kids alive.
Keeping the kids alive. But the only reason I bring this up is the average person doesn't understand that simple change in energy credits cost $25,000 more. Well, we're already in inflationary pinch. We're already in high environments. It means the average new construction just went up 25 grand.
It also makes it harder for any little builders to get in the game where you're an average person.
We don't have little builders anymore.
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
So 3 months is so huge that that's expensive.
So me and Tony, and there are, I think there's like 12 more of us are like the only ones that even exist that build little spot lots here and there. And then what happens is you jump up to like 30, 40 homes a year. And then you go to like, you know, a cornerstone or something like that. There's very few people who build 5, 10 homes a year now. Pre-crash, so 2007, there was like 100 builders that did that in Snohomish County. Just for perspective.
And they've been pushed out because of the rising costs.
Legislation or the
rising costs
and
yes,
and they are no longer allowed to get loans from the bank.
And access to capital. Access to capital requirements massively changed. This loan to value. Okay, so back in the good old days, in 2006, you could LTV a development project up to 100% if you did it correctly.
Yep. And then your wife was a realtor, so you could get paid to do it.
And you had a line of credit on it before it was even closed.
So did your dog.
Yeah.
That's a lot, but truly.
This right here, though, this is just about understanding where we're at. Massive opportunity in this chunk. Massive opportunity in this seller who's locked. Massive opportunity as a small investor. Massive opportunity as the big investor. Huge, huge opportunities over the next 24 months. I want you all to get commas and zeros on your net worth. That's what that means. Commas and zeros.
Working on that freedom number.
Yeah, just the freedom number. That was a phenomenal class that we had. Just simply sitting around talking about like how to get free. Okay, that's it. Anyone else? Bueller, do you have anything else?
I just want to say that the no sell opportunity is a hard one to understand. That's that one. If you could just touch on that for one more minute.
So here's what you got to be prepared to deal with the standard set of objections. The standard set of objections is I don't want to leave my 2, 3, 4% mortgage. Mm-hmm. My payment is going to jump $1,200, $1,800. So I can't afford it and it's not worth it. Okay, now how do we solve that problem?
Ask better questions, find out what makes it worth it.
Yes, amen. What else?
See if they can cash flow rental with primary.
Ooh, amen, brother man. You know what? Sounds like you're going to be an accidental landlord.
Keep your primary home.
Yes.
Rent it out, use that income to.
Yes.
Afford that.
Yes.
And let me tell you how doing that one move can help you take one step towards your freedom number.
Yes.
You don't know what that is? Let me tell you.
Yes. No, this is perfect. So I think you have to get them to stop for a second. And you have to say, Molly, if we could create a plan, and this plan's going to be a little different than what you're thinking. Is this something you'd like to do if we could figure out how to do it?
No, I don't want to be a landlord. It's not going to happen. I did it in 06. I'm never going to do it again. That's the hardest thing. Yeah, right? Sometimes it's not going to work, and that's why you ask the question. Start by asking the question.
Yeah, but I think we got to go real first to.
But I would say, Nate, what year was that you were trying to be a landlord?
Well, I was always fixing toilets, and I was always.
I know, but how long ago was that?
That was 23 years ago.
Well, would you agree with me that in the last 23 years you're a different person than you were then?
Oh, that's good.
I'm crankier.
What if I could show you an opportunity where you didn't have to fix toilets and you didn't have to do all that stuff? Would you be willing to have a conversation how I could put extra,
yeah,
$500 a month in your as cash flow plus offset your mortgage? Would
As long
that
as
be a
I can afford
conversation?
it without paying someone,
Well, hey, I can teach you how you can offset all of that, and it wouldn't cost you an extra thing, but we could really maybe crunch the numbers and see if it would work.
Well, let's just, let's do that. Let's sit down and we can talk about it, and maybe we can run some numbers, and I need to see this on paper.
Would you rather meet at Tuesday at 3 or
Yeah,
Thursday at
close.
1 o'clock?
You're know that you've got a $1,200 to an $1,800 gap, and so you're trying to figure out how to bridge that gap. And it may be renting that property. It may be getting a buy down. Okay, so now one of you say, but there's no properties that give me a buy down. Anyone say it? Say there's no properties that give me a buy down. No properties that give me a buy down. Cool, go find one off the market. Okay. In this market with inventory this low, if you do not hunt off market, you will not get enough deals. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be very real with you. We have to hunt off market. So I figure out what he wants, and he wants to live in this specific area, and he's going to keep his first house, but I've also got to get 2% in closing costs for a buy down in order to make this work. So we go door knock the whole neighborhood. We put up flyers in the neighborhood. We call, we do open houses, everything in that neighborhood to find a deal that would work for him. But we have to be able to show them. So it's renting the house, it's taking money out of a retirement account, selling stock, borrowing money from dear Aunt Tilly, borrowing money from mom and dad, and getting a buy down. But some combination of that's the only way he bridges these gaps.
Last year, even when rates were really low, there was no way you were going to be able to move up contingent.
Correct.
These homes in the 800 range on acreage in Snohomish, I'm looking at them all the time, and they're just sitting on the market. They're going to give you a buy down.
Yes. Yes. But that's also like, there are niches inside the market, and that's one of them where that one's not moving quite as fast. But if someone wanted to sell in Marysville and go to Mukilteo, and they were trying to get rid of their $600,000 home to get into an $850 or a $900 in Mukilteo, no way, because it's going to be gone in days. So that was kind of the example I was trying to use, but realize maybe it's about changing their dream a little bit. Well, hey, I know you want to move to Mukilteo, but I mean, here's Snohomish is really good. And see if maybe that's an opportunity, because what most buyers and sellers come to us with is they come to us with their predefined box. And they go, hey, Armand, you're a magician. Like, make this magic box work. And so your job is to just figure out how to expand that box and figure out, oh, well, if we did these 7 things you weren't thinking about, we can maybe make that work, but it's not going to be perfect in today's market. Is that what you wanted?
Cool. Yeah, that was good. That's good. Was this valuable?
Yes.
Right? I think that the biggest takeaway for me for this whole thing and lately is that we have to plug in and understand this language. We have to understand how to shift the way we're talking to people for our market.
Yes.
It's so important to plug into our classes and plug into the things that we can bring you. If there's anything that you want to hear or be taught about or can teach, see Katie or me or Kim, and we'll put it on the schedule. if you want to know more about this, let us know and we'll do more classes about this. Because like, obviously we needed it.
This whole market is about getting our skills up and becoming more consistent and persistent in your communication, your care, your candor, your touches.
Thank you. I want to crack your brain open and plug in.
It's a scary place. Don't go there alone.
Has anybody else watched Everything Everywhere All at Once? Everything Everywhere All at Once? Anyone? Oh, it's a weird one. It won so many awards and it's such an odd thing, but I have to watch it like 3 more times to get it. Okay, so the red shoe, they tallied it, they got it. The red shoe winner for April is Nate. Again. Hey, other people, get some culture going. Thank you, Nate. Hey, Nate, can you promise me you'll park in the red shoe spot?
I will park, yes.
Oh, you might have to have a chat with Toby.
Yeah. Oh, unless the trucks need to, yeah, right? Oh, yeah, and the shoe. Thank you so much.
Wow.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.